Alright, hello there YouTube. It's me again. I've come back. This is obviously the Guardian from Capital Gear Gaming, if you have not seen my other videos. As you can probably tell from the title of the video, this is a bit of a different video. It's going to be a very short one, probably only a few minutes long, and I'm simply going to explain one aspect of LightWave and 3D modeling actually in general. Altogether, it applies to every program because it's a setting, it's a tool, all programs have it, and it's actually a relatively new setting. It's known as subpatch modeling. This type of modeling is different from linear polygon-based modeling, sorry. And I highly regret actually getting into an argument with one of my viewers. Unfortunately, I was having a very bad day, and I actually ended up banning him from my channel. And now I actually feel really sorry for him. This guy insisted over and over, and I have said it in my video multiple times, that subpatch modeling is not smoothing. Pause for effect. It absolutely is. In every single slight aspect is it ever considered smoothing. In fact, it's the newest form of smoothing. In fact, it's actually the only real correct way of smoothing an object. There are tools there called rounding and smoothing, but those tools have been around since roughly, I don't know, 1997. So that's why they're there. They're old, and there are uses for them. I've used the rounding tool. In fact, the rounding tool, when used with subpatch modeling, is actually extremely useful, and it kind of works in glorious ways. Now, as you can see, I don't actually have LightWave open today, and that's because I'm not going to show you any subpatch modeling. I'm simply explaining what it is. Now, I can go in depth as to what subpatch modeling is and talk for an hour, but I have no intention of doing that because that's really boring, in all honesty. And if you really want to learn it, I've got two places for you. I've got this site, this website, which I will have in the description, and this website. They're both official websites. This one's a bit, you can consider this one being a little iffy because it's a Wikipedia website, as you can tell by the wiki. But this one is actually Foundation 3D, which is a community group, and this one actually samples, as you can tell, LightWave. And so this guy, we got into an argument. I want to unban him from my channel, but I've got no idea how. The new YouTube is a bit annoying, but just, I mean, look at the examples on the page. Subpatching is smoothing, no matter how you look at it. And in fact, he questioned me and said, I've heard nobody call it smoothing. I've seen nobody call it smoothing. And so, naturally, I insist on proving him wrong. I type in search, and we have 6 results showing of the word smooth. For example, tab key, that subdivides these polygons into a rounded, smooth, organic shape. Subpatch. Smooth. Very important to remember that. And we can see it multiple times throughout the page. Mind you, it's not quite said as many times as I'd like, but that doesn't matter. We can also search this one. We also get over here, standard polygon normals, so on and so forth. Basically, the entire pages are going to be littered with the word smooth alone, until they actually get into the actual tutorials on how to use it. So these websites are not only good for learning what it is, but it's also good to learn how to use it. But I don't want to hate on this guy. I don't want to color him incorrect. because there are smoothing tools and there are rounding tools, and those tools are useful. I've used them myself, and I've seen other people use them. But at the end of the day, I still press the tab button, and I still use smooth subpatching for my smoothing, and I do that for all my objects. And I highly regret banning the guy from my channel. It's a shame, because now I can't tell him this. And in all honesty, if he has to go on YouTube to watch video tutorials, that means he hasn't used this program for years and years and years. What that tells me is that he is learning, and he is gonna have a pain of a time if he ignores subpatching. Subpatching is new to this world, and without it, we would be nowhere. This pilot would be impossible. This copy of the alien space jockey from the Alien movie would be impossible. Simply because if we didn't have subpatching, we would have to use hundreds of millions more polygons than what we actually have to use. This guy talked about how he could use smoothing tools as a way, or the smoothing tool as a way to create smooth objects. And that's completely true, you can. But that's the old way of doing it. That's the original way of doing it. It's not incorrect by any stretch of the imagination. It's simply not recommended. Because if you do that, you're officially adding 10 times as many polygons as I would need if I simply just use subpatching. It's really unfortunate, but I just want you guys, I wanted some newer users to understand that, to grasp the fact that these are the subpatching is smoothing in every single aspect. It doesn't matter how you look at it. It creates smooth objects, and even if you can somehow find some evidence to completely prove me wrong, it doesn't change the fact that it's simply a better way of doing it, that it just works properly and it works effectively. So unfortunately, I hope that guy doesn't have too many issues in the future. I've got no idea how to add him back, and even then I don't think he would forgive me very much. So that's oh well, I can't do anything about it. At any rate, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I did tell you it's going to be a relatively short one, but I will include these two links. It'll teach you a lot about subpatching and a lot about how it works, and because when you look at it, it's a very confusing concept, because what it does is it uses algorithms to round the edges, and it kind of adds polygons automatically without you kind of knowing it. And there are settings for that. You can change those settings. So if you find that subpatching slows down your computer a lot, you can turn those settings down, and I can guarantee you that these websites will teach you where those settings are. This looks like it's not using LightWave, however. This looks like Blender, maybe? It's hard to say. Yes, here you go. Here's some levels of subpatching. So display subpatch level and render subpatch level. That looks like LightWave to me, actually. So yes, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I know it was a short one, a bit of a disappointing one in fact, but I just wanted to get that out there. It is late, so that's why I'm not really you know, doing anything, because my brain is a bit turned off at the moment. I will be recording a shit ton more. I've actually added a new hard drive to my computer that is 3 terabytes in size, so I can record for hours and hours and hours, and I can render all my videos and then record more. It's gonna be pretty crazy, to be honest, because this was what I used to use, and it was over half filled, so I could only really record for 2 hours. But now that I've got like over 800 gigabytes free, more than that actually, more like 1.5 terabytes free. No, more than that. Fucking hell. fuck, two 2 terabytes free. I can record for like a day. Fucking hell. I don't know if you can hear that beep. You probably couldn't. But yes, I hope you guys have enjoyed this small little tutorial. It's just a basic on how you have to understand that it is smoothing. So when you start getting into wanting to create realistic objects, you have to know that every object in the world is actually smoothed at the edges. Even something like a table or even a sword. A sword might be an exception because if you don't smooth it, then you can make it look like it's extremely sharp. But basically, if you want to keep things nice and realistic, especially when it comes to lighting, make sure you smooth all the edges, because if you do that, for one, it not only plays really well with lighting, but it's also it'll save you some polygon space as well. It'll optimize your scenes, which is very important. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. This has been The Guardian, signing out.